Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode with your girl Audrey Codner from ACG Math Tutoring. Thank you for giving me. Right now, what is going on? All right. Well, thank you so much for giving me time. Was not feeling all too well that other day, but I'm back. I'm here to finish it out. I'm not a quitter. So last time we were working on volume and surface area of cylinders, prisms, and also some cones. So if you are ready to come on in, I would love to see you guys. Sorry, I'm being like all long and drawn out. Yeah, just trying to get everything together. Yeah, stress is a hell of a killer, let me just tell you. All right. So if anything, come on in, come and tap. I am here for you. All right, so last time, I just want to do like a quick recap so we can get to where we need to get to. So we were working on the volume of a cone. So if you think of it, it's usually like the volume of a cone is 1/3 of the volume of a cylinder. So in order for you to get the volume of a cylinder, you're going to get the area of the base. So in order for you to get the volume of a cylinder, you're going to get the area of the base times the height, and then you're going to divide by 3 to get the cone. If you have a cylinder, do not divide by 3. Okay, that's the easiest way to do this. All right. So if we are looking at a cone, they gave us the diameter. So the diameter is 10 inches. So we don't need the diameter because the area of the base, we need the radius. Radius is half the diameter. So if the diameter is 10, that means from the center of that circle to this point on the circle, the length of that radii or radius is 5. So that's where this 5 came from. So then we squared the 5s, got our 25. And since we were basically doing a cone, we were dividing by 3. So we could multiply the 25 and the 12 and then divide by 3, but you're going to be dealing with larger numbers. And if you're going to be taking, say, the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, you don't want to have larger numbers because you're going to be doing this test without a calculator, right? So the best way is to try to simplify as best you can. So I did the 12 divided by 3. That's where this 4 came from. And now I can multiply the 25 and the 4. That's where this 100 came from. And if they say they want the exact answer, you can leave it as 100 pi my cubic inches. But if they want you to round to a certain decimal point, that's when you're going to have to translate your pi to possibly 3.14. Usually they ask for either the hundreds or the thousands. So if that's the case, you're going to multiply that 100 to the 3.14, which gave us our volume of 314 cubic inches. Okay. All right. So, hey, Big Al. Hey, Jess. Feeling a little bit better. Got a little, I can't even say I got any rest yesterday. I really didn't. Really didn't. Just lots around running around. So is this in the ASVAB? Yes, it is. Okay. Volume is definitely on the ASVAB. If you start seeing volume type problems, that means you're doing really well. Okay. So volumes usually come like around the 40s and the 50s. Okay. And then they start doing composite figures like in the 60s, close to the 70s. So that's what I've been hearing. Hey, Robert, how are you? Yes, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Yeah, it was very interesting. Like, everything was spinning. And I'm like, yep, I'm done. I'm like, yeah, I gotta stop. So I didn't want to leave us hanging with all of this. So I want to finish up on volume and surface area. So we left off. Let's just go to where we left off at. I think that'll be so much easier. So we left off at the surface area. So looking at surface area, it's basically looking at how you wrap around your can or your cylinder. So you want to look at not so much area, even though it says surface area, but it's more, part of it is area, but part of it is also circumference, okay? So what we're looking at when we say the LA, the lateral area, we're basically looking at our circumference. So circumference is our 2 pi r, okay? And we're saying 2 of them because we're looking, here we go. So we have our 2 pi r, and then we're multiplying this by my h. Okay, so that's going to be your lateral area. So since we're looking at our radius, our diameter was 7 centimeters. So we needed half of the 7 centimeters. So that's where the 3.5 came from. So now, or I could have just left it as pi d, and I think that's what I slightly remember. I remember someone saying pi d when I was waking up. Well, it was weird. Because if I do 2 times 3.5, it's still going to give me my pi d, my 7. So we're going to take my 7 pi times the height, which is 10. Okay, so that's part of it. Now we have to do 2 of the area of the bases. The reason why we need to figure out what's going on up top here and also what's going on down bottom here. So if I may, we have our area of the base, which is pi r squared, and we need 2 of them. So we have our pi, we have our radius, which was 3.5, and it's being squared. Let me move it over a lot. So this is 3.5 squared, not 3.5 times 2. So this is not going to give us a 7. It's almost like saying 35 squared. So that's like 1225. So we have 2 times 1225 pi. So now we need to multiply that by 2. So we got our 10, our 4, that makes it 5. And then we got 4, and we have our 2. And right now, I'm going to leave it in terms of pi. So 7 times 10 gives us 70. Okay. I know. Trust me, I know. Surface area is always like, I want to say like an Achilles heel, but it's pretty, why am I doing this? Keep forgetting the decimal place. Boop, boop, boop. That's supposed to be a point. Right? Surface area always takes me out. And then this should be a point. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. So I'm going to leave it in terms of pi. Now, most of the time, if you do see surface area, it's usually going to be rectangular prism, especially for GED and ASVAB. Okay, but I just like to show different things because that's how I go. All right, so 70 plus 24.5, that will give me 94.50 pi. And we're doing, and since it's surface area, it is your square centimeters. Okay, it's going to be square. Surface area deals with the square. Volume deals with the cube. Yeah, I kept it in terms of pi, Alexandra. Yeah, because sometimes, I'm going to be truthful, sometimes they want the exact answer, but again, most of it's going to be multiple choice. So take a look to see what your multiple choice is giving you. If you see that pi symbol, leave it in terms of pi. Because how else are you going to calculate it unless you use 3.14? And then you would have to multiply 3.14 to the 94.5. Okay. Oh, thanks, Randy. All right, thanks for the follow, everyone. Okay. And I know that this is intensive. It's like, oh, there's too much of this, there's too much of that. Well, guess what? That's how this test is going to be. It doesn't matter. GED, ASVAB, Acuplacer, TEAS test. What's the other one? IBEW. Like, they're doing a lot of these things to weed a lot of people out, especially when it comes down to volume. Okay, volume and surface area are considered 4-point questions. For the GED, trust me, you don't want to miss too much of the 4-point questions. You still want to hit those ones and twos, like the simple adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions and decimals and scientific notation. Like, you want to hit on those questions, but you do not want to skip these. If you skip these questions, you automatically fail. I'm going to tell you right here and now. You skip these 4-point questions. Take one volume question. Take one system of equation. Do one equation of the line. Okay? Don't skip them. Okay? What I mean by skipping them, I mean like you just say, screw it, I'm just going to write anything and keep it moving. Now, try to work them out. Okay? All right. All right. So let's see if I can. Yeah, and I don't know how much longer I'll be up. But let's see what we got here. For which grade is this? Most people see it in Algebra 1. Some people see it in Geometry. I know a lot of people usually see it in Geometry. So you could be taking Geometry as a 10th grader or 9th grader. I actually have one kid taking Geometry as an 8th grader. So, I can't really just say what grade it is. So, all right. Hey, Jacinda, how are you? Do they give partial credit? No, they don't. Nope. Okay. Yep, they do not give partial credit. All right, so let me see if I can. All right, so for this situation, And I think I have a couple of these. So for this situation, so we have a rectangular container with the dimensions of 10 inches by 15 inches by 20 inches, okay, to be filled with water using the cup whose radius is 2 inches, okay, might want to zoom, okay, you're pretty good, and whose height is 5 inches. What's the maximum number of full cups of water that can be placed inside the container without water overflowing? So we want to know how many of these cups okay. Can you guys still see me? All of a sudden everything just went blank. Okay. Thank you, Big Al. Okay, I was like, okay. Thank you, Robert. Because I don't know, sometimes TikTokers just be like, and let's just make this girl suffer. Take one day off and everybody wants to make me crazy. So they want to know how many, if I fill up these cups, which has a radius of 2 inches and a height of 5 inches, how many of those cups will fill this rectangular prism? So here's my thing. We need to find the volume. Anytime they say something about filling or how much will it hold, we're talking about volume. So if I want to find the volume of my rectangular prism, remember it's your length times your width times your height. Okay. You're clocking in? All right. So, if anything, you know that these three numbers are going to be multiplied. Okay, so you got your... You know that these three numbers are going to be multiplied. Okay, so you got your 15, you have your 20, and you have your height of 10. What's my volume? What would be my volume? You rebuke the negative end. I rebuke it! Shamalala. Okay. So Kai is saying 3,000. Okay. Do we agree? Okay. Princess agrees with you. Princess. Yeah. Michael R. Hello, Michael. The 3,000. Good. Yeah. So if you think of it this way, 15 times 2 gives me 30. And then we add 2 more zeros. So that will give us our 3,000. And then this will be my cubic inches. But now we need to figure out the volume of our cylinder. So remember, it's the area of the base, which is a circle, so that's pi r squared, times our height. So they already gave us the radius. So the radius is 2. So we got our pi, our radius is 2 squared, and then the height was 5. So since they're looking for whole cups, I think we're going to have to do some kind of approximation. Because if I left it in terms of pi, 2 squared gives me 4. 4 plus 5 gives me 20, so we got 20 pi. But we're probably going to need the approximation because we're looking for cups. How many cups of water can go into this prism? Okay. So what would 20 pi be rounded? I don't know. Let's say to the 10th power. I mean, not 10th power, to the tenths. It's like, what would it be as a decimal rounded to the 10th position? Not tens, but 10th with the TH at the end. There you go, Kaya. Okay. So could we say, if you say 62.83, there we go. Thank you. And then this will be our cubic inches. All right. So how are we going to figure out, good Michael, how are we going to figure out how many cups of water can be used to fill this prism without it overflowing? What are we going to do with the information that we already found? What are we going to do with this? No, it's not a quadratic V-Town. But I know. Hey! How'd they do, Janice? Did they win or are they still playing? But yeah. We're gonna divide. Yes. Okay. All right. No worries. Okay. So we're gonna do some division. Okay. So we need to take our 3,000 and we're going to divide it by the 62.8 to see roughly how many whole cups of water or whatever needs to be used to fill this without overflowing. Okay. So then how many whole cups, Kaya? I see that 47.77. But how many whole cups? There you go. Okay. I know a lot of people are going to say, all right, well, 47.7, not a problem. Lots of sevens. I need to play that number tomorrow. So my whole thing is, a lot of people will say, oh, let me round up. But remember the restriction. We don't want it to overflow. If we put a little bit more than what it's offering, it's going to overflow. And we don't want that. So in this case, when they say we don't want it to overflow, don't round up. Instead, round down. Okay. So instead, round down. Yes. Good, Kaya. Good, Big Al. Good, Princess. There you go. So we don't need the 0.5 because we have 0.7s. So it'll be strictly the 47 because we don't want it to overflow. All right. Okay, no worries. All right, and one more situation. I'm gonna see if I can unzoom just a little bit because the wording was a little off. Yeah, I have come to the conclusion that I need to stop working so hard. I feel like Sheila E. I need the glamorous life. But in order for me to get the glamorous life, I gotta work for it. So you know how it just keeps coming back like hot pants, like, you know. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate the love and the attention. I really do. If I don't say it enough, I'm sorry. I really do appreciate you guys. Even though I'm still trying to figure out this thing called TikTok. But it's all right. Do I? I sound a little more coherent. Not like blah, 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 blah. It was just like everything was just swirling around. I don't know. I've never had these things before, but I don't know. Stress is one hell of a thing, y'all. This music is reminding me of NPR or something. Welcome to Smooth Sounds. You're going back to school? Well, yay! What are you going back to school for, princess? Oh, thanks, Michael. What was this? When I was taking my GED on those problems, I just picked C and moved on. Sorry. Teaching? All right. What grade level? Yeah, because a lot of people started Monday. Okay, through third? Yes. Have you been studying for your praxis? And you're like, that's what I'm going to school for. I know. It can be very challenging. But it's doable. You stick with your guns. You remember your why, because you want to be a teacher. You want to instruct. You want to touch all these little kids' lives. Hold on to that. Because I swear, this is the only profession that people treat other adults like crap. And it's being a teacher. There is no amount of cookies that can heal the wounds that you have. And no matter what, be a part of your kids' lives. They're going to fight you in the beginning, but they're going to love you towards the end of the school year. Especially the kids that drives you nuts. The kid that you're just like, if this kid wasn't in my class, this class would be awesome. That kid is going to be your favorite kid at the end of the school year. Trust me. Trust me. And I'm like, you make me crazy. And the reason why you do it is why. Like, one day you're going to ask this kid the question. It's going to be around Thanksgiving. And, you know, you're going to have younger ones. They're going to be like, oh, I just like you. Oh, that's how you show love. I need for you to find a different way. Because this is driving me to drink every night. I'm an alcoholic now. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. All right. You need to. Okay. Dora's 5th grade. I teach her math because I love it. Awesome. No, seriously. There was a couple of students I had, even though I had older students. But yeah, drove me crazy. I'm like, dude, You're going to drive me to drink something harsh and heavy. All right, so as we see, we have 1, 2, 3 different lovely shapes. I'm going to try to zoom in on these. So they're saying students in one math class, as we kind of like take a little breather. Notice that a local movie theater sold popcorn in different shapes of containers for different prices. Real life situation. You ever go to like one movie theater, they have the buckets. Another movie theater, they have boxes. Another movie theater, they have cones. Life lesson here. Okay, they wonder which of the choices was the best buy. Analyze the 3 popcorn containers below. Which is the best buy? So, obviously, we want to know how much it holds popcorn. Okay, how much popcorn does it hold? So, let's really zoom in. Okay. Okay, yep, we're still finding the V. So many jokes. Okay, anyway. So we're finding the volume. So right here we have a rectangular. So we have our length, our width, and our height. Okay, so we're basically multiplying all of them. So we have 14. We have 10. And the height was 19. I know it's not a great copy, I'm sorry. This is what happens when you have very old papers. They've been around for a while. Oh, Big Al. Right? $4 is definitely a steal. That's, hence I said, very old papers. So what do we have for our volume? Oops. Okay. So I'm seeing 2,520, 2,660. Okay, you thought it was 18. Okay, 18, not 19. Yes, it's 19. So your height's 19. Is it? Okay, my eyes are going now. Yep, you're right. It is 18. Thought it was 19. Looks like a 9. All right. So that's going to change things. All right. Thank you. All right. So we have 2520 on the paper. Yep. So 2520, 2660. Sorry. Oh, well, thank you for the... Oh, totally forgot I had that thing on there. Thank you. All right. So, yes, with the 14, the 10, and the 18, we are going to have 2,520. Okay. Cubic centimeters. All right. So, that's what we're looking at for this one. So now we need the cylinder. Okay, so the cylinder, again, we're looking at volume. So we have our volume. This is our area of the base, pi r squared, times our height. So they're giving us the radius, which is at 7. So we have our pi times 7 squared, and our height, again, another 18. Oops. I guess we could round to 2 decimal places. So I can see people using 3.14. And that's the only thing. It's like when I use 3.14, it really does change. It changes it. Because I know you won't be able to use a calculator. So I might as well just make this as 3.14. So we got our 49. And we have our 18. So if I do it that way, I'm going to say approximately 2,769.48. And that is also our cubic centimeters. Okay. And then the last one, let me shift. How do I use red? So we got our volume. So remember, it's a cone. So it's very similar to what we did for the cylinder, but we're just dividing this by 3. So here you have your pi, your radius, which at the very top looks like a 9. Okay, times my height, which is 25. And then we're dividing it by 3. Well, we could do the 81 that we're going to get from the 9 squared. Divide that by 3, so we'll get our 27. So now all I need is my 27 times 25. Trying to fit it all on the screen. It's crazy. So if I do 27 times 25, that's 5, 30, that'll be 13, 14, that's 5, 5, 7, 6. Okay, so my volume here is 675 pi. But let's see if we can put it at times it at 3.14. So we're looking at approximately, yep, good, 2,119.5. And it's gracious of them to keep everything as centimeters. So now we just need to figure out what will be the best buy. How to make it? So 9 squared, 9 times 9 gives me 81. And 81 divided by 3 will give me 27. So instead of me doing 81 times 25 and then divided by 3, I just try to simplify as best I can. You are saying cubes isn't with the cone only. Isn't with the cone only? Now, every time we're looking for volume, we're always talking about cubic centimeters. Okay, you're welcome. Okay. You okay, McCoy? All right. Okay, so we found our volumes. Okay, so we found our volume. Now we need to figure out what's going to be the best buy. All right, and I don't mean the place that you spend so much money on electronics just for it to break like 2 weeks later. Shameless plug. So the rectangular prism was $4. The cylinder was $4.25, and the cone was $3.50. So how are we going to figure out what's going to be the better buy? What are we going to do with these lovely numbers that we came up with? Let's say for this first one, what do we do? Yes, you're going to divide the price and the volume. Divide by price. Good. Yes, of each. Yes. So, almost wrong. Used the wrong pen. Okay, so we have our 25.20, and we divide it by the $4. So how many 4s can go into 25? That's 6. Carry the 1, so that'll be 3, and then carry the 0. So we're looking at 630 centimeters per dollar. Cubic centimeters, sorry, per dollar. Okay. So that would take care of that first one. The second one, we're going to take 2,769.48, and we're going to divide that by 4.25. And I'm not going to lie, I'm going to whip out my calculator. I am not even going to sit here and lie. Hey, it's been a moment. Yep, totally wouldn't have gotten that. So this one's approximately 651.6 if I wanted to round. Okay. Hey, how are you? How's your classes going? Oh wait, it didn't start yet. I love how I'm your favorite math tutor. I'm your only math tutor. Hello. All right, so then we come over here. The price was $3.50. So we have 2119.5 divided by 350. And I got approximately 605. 0.6 if I round it. All right. Okay. I mean, I'm not going to be conceited. No, seriously, I probably is the only math tutor I've ever had. All right, so I'm going to try, and it's going to be really small. I'm so sorry. But we have a combination. So what we have? We have 630. We have 651.6. So roughly like 652. And then we have the 605. Roughly like 606. Which one do you think is going to be the best or the better buy? Would it be the rectangular prism, the cylinder, or the cone? Okay, so kind of say cylinder. Okay, definitely. All right, so cylinder with Jess, cylinder with Kai, yes, saw that one. Cylinder with, is it Nashimi? Help me, Miss Divine, for the cylinder. Michael or with the cylinder. Nakami. Yeah, I'm gonna destroy your name. I'm so sorry. Nachi. Is that chai? Nachimi? Or Nachimi? Because we say chai incorrectly. Starbucks. Destroyed everything. The first one? Oh, okay. The first way. All right. I know, right? We always say it incorrectly. It's ridiculous. Because every time I hear it, I cringe. I'm like, so disrespectful. All right. So yes, the better one is going to be the cylinder. I know we did all of this just to do comparison shopping. Right. You can't judge. I appreciate you. Because I understand the power of a name. So I like to try to get it as best I can. Okay. All right. So that was a covering of so many things, mostly volume, but we do have like the surface area. If you ever have like the surface area, especially for the rectangular prism, you're basically adding up all your sides, all of these. So if you want, you can speed it up by multiplying these two plus the multiplication of these two plus the multiplication of these two, and then times that answer by 2. So if I was, let me do a little side note. If I was looking for surface area for this rectangular prism, I know I would take the 3 sides that they've given me, and I would do 15 times 10 plus 15 times 20 plus 10 times 20, and then take all of that and multiply it by 2, because you have what's going on. You have a base up top and you have a base down below. That's why you got to multiply it by 2. That's going to help you get your surface area. And majority of the time, you're going to see, if you do see surface area, it's going to be a rectangular prism. Okay. Alrighty. Well, that was entertaining. So I'm going to ask of you, before I do my spiel, what would you guys like to see next? Because I know the fall semester is coming. Some people are starting to see certain things in their classrooms. I think some community colleges, they're starting either this week or next week. So if there is something in particular you want me to kind of go over, I'm more than willing to do that. something that you're just like, this is my fear. Why not? Let's face our fears together. Been having lots of fun with SAT prep lately. Sarcasm. No, but I'd do it. Nothing? Everyone's good? No one doesn't have anything that they want me to go over ever? I know a lot of people are like, well, you've done almost everything. Geometry? No, what part of geometry? Because that's a huge span. Okay. Look, Netta, we're not going to go all balls out here. Need for you to pick something. Make a decision, people. It's been 11 years? Okay. Any of this in your book? Okay. So here's my question. Here's my thing that I would love for you to do, Netta. Take pictures of it. Send me a message. I think I've messaged you before, Netta. We were supposed to meet up, and I don't know what happened. So if anything, take pictures of it. I'm going to send you a message. And I want you to send me pictures of what you're actually dealing with in your book. And then I'm going to see if I can incorporate that into these sessions. Okay. Yes. Yes. What happened? Okay. All right. So let's do it that way. Okay. All right, not a problem. So I'm going to send you a message in a few after I get out of here. All right, so I know everyone's like, no, we can't leave yet. Okay, evaluating functions. Okay. Okay, like the 4 pointers. Okay, I could probably do another 4-point sequence. The name of one live tutor for 5th grade. Help me for my daughter. 5th grade. Who's going live? Let me double check. I want to say Nancy. No, it's not Nancy. Yeah, she does the younger ones. That will be my friend Bridget. What is her name on this thing? Give me a moment. I was like, because I don't think she goes by her name. Yeah, I did a lot of cleaning, so great majority of my stuff is gone. Let me see if I can find her name real quick. It's like read something. Read. Read Math Grow. That's what it is. Okay. So her handle is Read Math Grow. Oops. Keep forgetting. Yeah, so if you go to Read Math Grow and just send her a message, her name is Bridget Halser. She's really patient. Love her to death. She has such a great accent. So if anything, definitely check with her because she does the younger age as well. And if you feel that that's not a good match, just let me know. And I know some other people, but they're not on TikTok right now. So I know. I'm trying. Yes, Read Math Grow. Yeah, she puts it all together in one. I don't know. That's what she likes. So, hey, to each their own. You can't get everything. All right. Aw. Sleep with the phone. You're so sweet. Understand? It's not a problem. Hey, Blessed RN. Haven't done this in forever. I know. I've been doing tons of conversions lately. Tons. It's getting ridiculous. Oh my goodness. So if any of you guys are thinking about going into nursing, get your T's test, and you need help with your dosage calculations, make sure you follow a Blessed RN. It's a great resource for you. Yes. Oh my gosh, nothing but conversions. And it's not even for T's test. It was for Praxis and SAT. I think that's what I was doing a lot of. So it's not a problem. Shoot. You're definitely worth a mention. And same thing, I don't know if Robert is still here, but if you guys have either yourself or maybe your kid or someone that you know that is going into calculus, that is not me. No. So if they're going to Calc AB, Calc BC, maybe AP Statistics, make sure you guys follow Robert. He is listed here as Main Street Tutors. Definitely take a look. Praxis is for the teacher certification. So I've been getting quite a few people from teacher certification. So I've been doing quite a few tutoring for that. Especially in the Shy. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of people in the Shy. Yeah. Yep, and that's it, Antonio. That's it. See, my thing is, don't make these tests make you crazy. And I said this over and over, and I'll continue to say it. I took the Praxis like 11 times. That's not like 11 times. I took the Praxis 11 times. Like, it got to the point that after I took the test, I'll come home and sign up for the next test. Like, that was my thing. Until one day, all of a sudden, I got money put back into my account. I'm like, why? And I noticed, then I got a letter or email later saying, congratulations, you passed. And I mean, like, I cried. It was because, like, I wasn't as strong in math as I am now back then, you know? So it was just a matter of, like, after a while, I got to the point where I said, this doesn't define me. This just helps other people to try to figure out where to put me. But then let me tell you where you should put me. Where do I want to go? So sometimes having that attitude and not so much the scarcity, but more so like, I can get this done. You know, just step aside. Let me show you what I can do. You know, just having that attitude generally seems to help. It's so true, Antonio. I'm telling you. So true. Booked and busy. Yep. That's what you gotta do. And terminology is really helpful. Yes. And sometimes it's like, I don't want to say you have to take your time, but a lot of people keep forgetting. You basically got like a minute and 15 seconds to take a test. And when someone says that to you, you automatically think that you got 5 seconds. No, you got a minute and 15 seconds. Like one day, even when we get off this live, literally get a stopwatch and time yourself. How long would a minute and 15 seconds be? I don't even know if I have a stopwatch. Hold on. A moment. I used to. Don't ask me why I would have a stopwatch so close by. It's not like I'm timing myself for anything anymore. Let's see how fast you can run. Nope. Not doing that anymore. Yeah, I used to. I don't know where it's at. But literally, just one day, just set a timer for a minute 15 and just sit still. And you're going to be like, oh, I have time to complete a problem, and possibly, especially if it's an easy enough problem for you, that you can just get it over and done with. Right? I know, but then I have to exit out the live in order to do that, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, not yet. Yes, I know there's a stopwatch on my phone, but I would have to stop the live in order for me to get that. I don't want to do that. I'll be like, all right, let me just come right back. Okay, the last problem? Sure. Yep. And it's like, don't make yourself crazy. It's just like, look, let me do. And now that you understand that there's some 4-point questions, don't skip anything that has to deal with slope. Make sure you do that. Try some of the volume problems. Now you understand Pythagorean theorem. We've done that before. A lot of you guys, we've done adding, subtracting, multiplying, polynomials. Those are like 4-point questions. Your system of equations, those are like 4-point questions. So understanding what the test is going to give. And then for the ASVAB, it starts from slow and it does a progression. So if you start seeing volume, you're doing really well. If you start seeing composite figures, you're really doing well. Like you're in the 70s. Like you're in the late 60s, early 70s. So, yeah. It feels like forever, doesn't it? So that's what I'm saying. If you know a question that you know right away because you looked at it, I'm like, oh, okay, what's the leading coefficient? You're like, all right, highest degree, leading coefficient, boom. There's my answer, I'm done. Now all that extra time that you didn't spend on that problem, you can use on other problems to actually sit and really marinate about them. Okay? That's why process elimination is just right on. It'll be like an eternity for you. Be back in 75 seconds. All right. All right. But it really is. It's that long. Not a problem. Not a problem. So it's like when you go, just go and be positive. Like go ahead, and if you haven't taken it, a lot of you guys add stress to like, oh, I have to pass it right here, right now. You don't even know what the design of the test looks like. You get ideas, because even some of these books, I feel like I'm wasting a lot of money on Amazon because I'm trying to buy some books and just to give people alternative. Some of these books are garbage. The one book I would say, if you are going to take the ASVAB, and I like the structure of it, is ASVAB for Dummies. I know the name, I hate it. I hate the name, but I think they do that as a psychological thing as well. Because some people will be like, well, I'm not dumb, I'm not going to buy that book. But the structure of it and the questions that they have of it, it's like really geared towards the test itself. So if you are thinking about taking the ASVAB, go get the ASVAB for Dummies, the recent copy. And T's test, I'm still looking. I'm still looking. There's just like, there's always these workbooks that just have tons of problems in there. And I'm like, the explanation is terrible. The examples is awful. And I'm like, if you don't know what to do in the beginning, how are you going to understand how to break concepts down? Yeah, that's why I'm working on a new workbook myself, actually. So, all right. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you. And good night to you. Yeah, I'm going to wrap up in a moment. One time. Give yourself time to decompress between tests. If you have to pass. Right. Exactly. The next time I will be, what is today? Today is Thursday. So I will be tomorrow at 1 p.m. No, I won't. I lied. I will not be here at 1 p.m. I'll be here sometime tomorrow night. Maybe not 9:30. It's going to be earlier. It's definitely going to be earlier. So I'm thinking possibly 7 o'clock. I normally go on at 1, but I was able to get a client. I need money, guys. We need to keep that thing going. But normally it's at 1, but the next few weeks is going to be in the evening. So I will be back on possibly like 7 p.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Okay. Do you have to pay to come here? To come live on TikTok? Oh, there's a follow button. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you just have to follow me. Yeah, I'm not bougie yet. I don't I don't have a paid subscription yet. Operative word is yet, but it's not happening anytime soon. Yeah, and right now I'm just going to be going on once a day. Yesterday I just had to take the day off. I had to. Felt like I was going crazy. Excuse me. That's why I asked. Yeah, I'm not bougie yet. Yeah, they'll give you like a minute and then you get booted out. But there are some people that if you, I don't know what tests, Nisha, what tests are you taking? Didn't we just show you the last one? Yes, for the last one. There's the last one. CXC? What's that? I love how there's the same test, but they have so many different names. Caribbean exams. Is it for being a teacher or just your exams altogether? Oh, okay. Gotcha. It's almost like the GCSEs or something like that. Oh, okay. Gotcha. You're so welcome. Okay. Got it. All right. All right. That makes sense. Yeah. And if there's anything in particular, I'm more than willing, because right now it's like a lot of the things that I'm doing is starting to repeat itself, which is fine because one, everyone didn't sign on or found me on your FYP at the same time. So there might be some things that I've talked about that you're like, oh, can you go over that? And I'll be like, yeah, I know that. So, but if anything, all of my stuff, if you go here to YT, okay, you can sign up here and you can see all my lives. Okay, so I have my lives since February 2nd. That's when I started taking TikTok seriously and started going live as consistently as I can, except for yesterday and the day before. And if anything, you can do this, you can do this, do this, do this, and do this. And it's a free subscription, and you can like watch and take a look at all the topics and everything. Yep. Hey, Lynette. Can't see. How far am I in the topic? How far? What do you mean, how far? Mostly like Algebra 1, a little bit of geometry, a little bit of data analysis. That happens once in a while. Yeah, and of course my schedule, I tried to stick with it, but this Friday I won't be going. It's going to be later this Friday, probably 7 p.m. Okay. Yeah, it is a lot of videos, Lynette. I was just looking at it the other day. Oh, well, thank you. I try. All I can do is try. I think as I'm learning, my passion is my pain. Like, I used to be terrible at math. And I guess in order for me to be a math teacher, I had to learn. I had to get over my fears of word problems and fractions. And it's true. The more that you do it, the more that you understand it. But I wish I had someone that could break it down like my high school math teacher, Mr. Caruso. He's the one that brought the love of math to me. I was like, you know what? Math is not that bad. Because he broke it down, and I take over my process of breaking down is similar to how he would have done it. I'm not even sure if he's still alive or not. Sitting here talking about him in the past. I really had to. I had to learn. And believe it or not, I really learned how to be a teacher by working at the juvenile justice system. Yeah. You learn that everything's a weapon. Everything. Like, this is a weapon. Oh, yeah. This is a weapon. Let's not even talk about this. You got to make sure you count these at the end of the day. And then one teacher, so silly, decided to bring a bunch of these inside the building. Okay? It's a pencil sharpener. What is that? That's a blade. Okay? Story time. Ready? So I was one of those teachers that I would clean the whole entire room. When I first got the room, there was piles of papers. They all smelled like mold. It was disgusting. So when we had spring break, I would clean the whole entire room. Then they would, as a lot of people say, if you don't do what you need to do, we're not going to take you to Miss Audrey's class or Miss Codner's class and all that. So they will come in, they will do the work. After they do the work, I will give them coloring pages. Sometimes we'll watch music videos, which I know is totally against the law, the rules, but, they were working. And then they were sitting there watching videos. And then all of a sudden, the CEOs come and take them to their next class. And I'm cleaning up, and all of a sudden I see this with a piece not enclosed of this, just the blade. And there was some white stuff. It looked like soap. So it can So basically someone created a blade. Okay, juvenile justice system. Just want to let you know. So of course I showed to the CEO, and she's looking at me like, "What do you mean? Why is this here?" I'm like, "Why are you yelling at me? I'm showing you this." She's like, "What unit was in here?" So I told her the unit and all that stuff. So they had to fill out the report, and that's what she was pissed about, because she had to fill out a report. Oh, boo freaking who? I'm freaking out that this was a blade in here and he was trying to shank somebody. So later in the day, one of the teachers finally admits, "Oh yeah, one of my things were missing." Okay, first of all, back up. Why do you have this in juvenile justice? Why? How did you get this in here? They pat you down every blessed day. Maybe it was one of those days that you didn't get it. But anyway. So I was a little disappointed. And then I talked to the big dog of the unit, and everything was all straightened out, and we were all happy again. End of story. Good night, Amber. So yeah. But I loved those kids. They were the best. Even though society and some of the stuff that they've done was not the best. But I did appreciate those young men very much so. Ran into one of them about a couple weeks ago. And I cried. Because it was the first time I can give him a hug. Because you can't hug them. You can't, no physical touch. And maybe a little fist bump. That's about it. But, I was just so proud of him. And he started working and everything. And his life is starting to look up. And I was like, oh, thank God. I was like, I pray for these kids every day. Every single solitary day. Before I became a teacher? Nope. That was, oh gosh, what year was that? So this is going to my 6th year. It was about like 7-8 years ago. I've been a teacher for 22 years. Yep. I'm going into my 6th year of tutoring. I'm starting to feel it. Everybody's like, "So how was your summer?" I'm like, "I was working." I was making books. I was creating courses. What were you doing? "Oh, we went on vacation." Shut up. We traveled, please. I haven't had a vacation since my honeymoon, and that was what? Oh, God. How many years ago? 16 years ago now. 16 years ago was the last vacation I've ever had. Yeah. I'm due. All right. Enough of me yammering on. Surprised, like 36 of you guys are actually still here. Listen to me yammer on. You're probably doing something, just having the video playing. All right, so I have some ideas. I am going to DM. I hope she DM me, so I can do all that. We love it. Learning little facets of Audrey. It's all kinds of crazy. But I'm waiting for my newer math notebooks to come in. They should be coming in sometime this week. It'll be nice if it was tomorrow, but it is what it is. But again, I didn't even go through the math notebook or anything. just too busy. I'm hoping it comes soon because these pages are looking pretty light. I think I got enough for maybe 2 days. No, I have enough for 3 days. Yeah. Hopefully it'll be in sometime next couple of days. All right. So have an amazing evening. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time, your patience. Thank you for reaching out. There were so many of you guys that reached out. Like, I hope you're feeling better. And I really appreciate it. I know my stress level is very high. And I'm trying to, just keep myself calm and try to think positive, because there's certain things I just can't control, right? Can't control it. So I can just do the best I can and just keep it moving. Good things are going to come. I'm telling you, I'm gonna be like rich. I'm gonna be rich with abundance, money, love, all that stuff, because all this shiznit that's been going on, putting it as nicely as I can, it's craziness. It's not as crazy as a few months ago or a couple months ago, but it's kind of like the tail end. Now I'm just like, all right, let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. All right, everyone. So have a lovely evening. I will see you tomorrow. I think I'm going to come on tomorrow night at 7 p.m. And I know it's a Friday night. You guys just want to hoop it up and all that stuff, which is fine. Just see me 7 p.m. on Saturday. Okay? All right. So good night. Good night, Moon.